From Careco TV, one of the longest running outdoor programs on television today. Exploring the country and the coast in search of adventures. From the mountains of the great Northwest to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. This is Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. This week on Americana Outdoors, we're in Alabama at Wilson Lake with Wade Middleton, where he's hoping to find fish up shallow in the grass as he's done in the past. But first, let's head to Texas and Amistad Reservoir to Kurt Dove's Pro Bass Camp and learn a little bit about this awesome event that gives kids a chance to get out on the water and learn expert tips from the pros.
We are at Lake Amistad down here right outside of Del Rio, Texas. And we are in the 12th annual Kurt Dove's Pro Bass Camp. We are teaching these young anglers how to catch more bass. They come out here to camp, they already have an extreme passion for bass fishing, they want to learn more. They come down here for 5 days to Lake Amistad and we show them everything that we possibly can. The mainstay of it is obviously the on-the-water instruction. We have 2 campers with a pro out on the water every day. But within the camp, we also have a flipping and pitching contest. We have seminars that go on. We have a weekly big bass competition. So there's a lot of little intricacies within the camp that make it what it is for 5 days that immerse the youth into bass fishing.
At the end of 5 days, the camp concludes with the Camp Classic, a tournament where the youth get to put all the skills they've learned to the test and compete for the opportunity to win cool prizes and even scholarship payouts. Until then, let's see how the kids are doing as they fish with the pros and practice the skills they're learning.
Don't lose him now.
Danny, be quiet.
Don't lose him.
Be quiet.
Don't
Be
overhurse
quiet,
him.
Danny.
Look out. Let me help you. You got it. Whoa. Send him to the moon. My goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, fish.
There we go.
Good fish. Oh, good fish. Good fish. Good job. Would you catch him on the swim jig? Good job. They're just laying in them little clumps of grass. You bring something by, they'll come running out there and ambush it. And a lot of times you bring it over that grass and just kind of let it fall a little bit. That's when they're going to grab it, when you do something different with the bait. Really a neat camp that Kurt Dove has put together for these young men. And probably the most valuable thing we can leave, it has nothing to do with what we've won or what trophies we won. It's what knowledge we can pass on. And I've been doing this sport for years and years, so if I can get some tips that'll help them catch more fish in the future, that's really what this is all about. And they just suck that knowledge in, and a lot of them are very good fishermen when they get here, but they're even better when they leave.
Before we jump over to our next boat, let's see what these young anglers have learned during their time on the water today.
All right, guys, what'd you learn about that spot? Why were the bass there?
All this wind has been pushing a lot of the bait, the forage that these bass are eating, back to that grass. So then,
and had cover.
And it had cover, so when those bait, when they get pushed back in there, they resort to that cover. And then we throw in there with our swim jig, shaky heads, and whatever really. Crickets, thunder crickets.
The other thing is it had been real easy to go through there and maybe catch one fish and keep going. And what happened when we spot locked down and started working on them?
We were able to catch some bigger fish. We were able to catch more numbers of fish.
Exactly.
And when we paid attention to the spot, then I was able to eventually get myself a 4.6. So.
Awesome. So what would you do now?
What would I do right now?
Yeah.
I would probably go off, since I know it's a good spot to come back for tournament day. I don't want to crank down the fish too hard in there. I want to leave some for me. I would probably head around the corner like we're doing now and look at some other stuff.
And duplicate what you just had.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then after that, maybe move on to some other stuff that's similar conditions.
That's what you do. You try to find a pattern that you can just keep running. And you just run that pattern from area to area.
While Denny, Luna, and Robert make their moves to find more fish, we'll head over to pro angler Matt Reed's boat with high school anglers Weston and Hercules.
Everything about this camp's awesome. I like meeting all new people that are about the same age as me and have the same interest in fishing as me. And we can talk all day about everything in common we have. I like fishing with all these guys because I learned so much from them. They've been fishing their whole lives and have so much knowledge to teach us.
All right, come on up here to me. Now that's a decent little fish. Now y'all, it's y'all's turn to catch one like this.
I know.
Or bigger. All right, thank you. Go back and grow up. I love fishing, I love the outdoors. I've been in it my whole life, and I love to try to share some of the knowledge I've had over the years, experience, with these young guys. I mean, this camp is great because you got kids from all over, and you know, you can teach them to do that, and there's a little old smallmouth showed up. But these kids come from all over the country for this camp, and hopefully we can just spread a little knowledge and give some of our time for the future. I mean, dadgummit, this is the future of our sport right here in our boat.
Over on Kurt Dove's boat, there's a steady stream of fish coming in, and young angler Jordan Stubbs just landed yet another largemouth bass.
There you go, my man. That's how it rolls. Find a little school, get a few more bites. Show us how to boat flip and how we talked about boat flipping. There you go. Nice.
Right on
nice
up there.
job, bro.
Thank you. Then grab right there.
Looking good, my man. Typical summer fish. Got him on that worm, though.
Oh yeah.
All right. We're in a school of small ones. We got doubles.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Got one, got one.
Oh no.
Triples.
Get it in the boat. Everybody hold the fish.
He's got a smallmouth.
It's a smallmouth. My first smallmouth. Oh my
His
God.
first ever smallmouth.
He choked it.
That's awesome.
There you have it. That's Pro Bass Camp in a nutshell. You can check it out at probasscamp.com. Ethan, what do you think?
Dude, no place like it. This is probably the best camp there is. Coming down here, 4 days of fishing, best fishery that there is. Can't beat it.
All right, great stuff. Great stuff. Let's have some more fun, guys. Let's do it.
What?
Kind of what makes the camp complete is all the little special things we do to make the kids feel like they've taken it to the next level. And what we're trying to do with those little intricacies within camp is just make it an experience that they won't forget. An experience that when they're 40 or 50 years old, they'll think back and say, you know, when I was a young angler, that was a special moment in my life, or that was a special time that really made me continue to want to bass fish and be a part of this whole process.
If you have a young angler who you think would benefit from this experience, follow Pro Bass Camp on social media for the latest news, and head on over to probasscamp.com to sign up for the next round of Kurt Dove's Pro Bass Camp. When we come back, we're traveling to Alabama with Wade Middleton for some good old-fashioned shallow water swim jig fishing on Wilson Lake.
To fishermen and other liars, the time you spent on the docks, the banks, the boats, the lines you cast, and the hooks you set. These moments you share with the people you love, the fish you never forget, and the tales that get taller with every retelling. Make memories that'll last a lifetime with Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
You have a full-time job and you want to be a full-time angler. Don't waste time scouting. You want to catch fish. That's where Garmin comes in. Our mapping with Navionics data lets you see more detail than the fish do. It's kind of a big deal. Oh, and our industry-leading live sonar is so crisp and clear you'll think you jumped in. You're welcome. Now, if only we had a powerful, efficient, whisper-quiet trolling motor. Actually, we do. It's called Force. We knew you'd like that. Less time finding, more time catching fish. Only with Garmin.
When there's miles of water in front of you and hundreds of feet below, you need a boat with the chops to dominate, no matter the conditions. With the strength and technology to overcome the elements and the competition. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin.
I really love to fish swim jigs. They're a very realistic, easy to fish bait. You don't have to overthink it for a lot of ways to fish it. You basically can pull up to a variety of cover, be it emergent vegetation, submergent vegetation, docks, rocks, anything that's gonna hold fish, and swim this bait by it and generate and trigger a reaction strike a lot of times. Oh, fish what's in front of you. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. And I mean, honestly, there's no telling how many fish are released right here from different tournaments that they have, and it just looks right as a place to go fling one for a little bit. You know, throwing a little swim jig up through this. You could throw a spinnerbait, but there's not a lot of wind coming through here. And the problem with throwing a spinnerbait a lot of times, in my opinion, in that little water willow that's coming out, it's hard to fish it through the middle of it. Now all the bites I've had right now have actually been out in front. So we'll just see. Boy, that was a non-aggressive bite for a swim jig. He just kind of came up and probably just fell off. Come back here. I mean, I could have the wrong color. I don't know. These fish I'm getting bites, small ones. But like that fish there, he's been caught before. I didn't do that. He just kind of came up and, you know, mouthed it. I more jerked him out of the water than I did anything. You know, I think as fishermen, we question everything all the time, and color is one of the key ones. You know, I've developed kind of over the last few years that I try to stay within my comfort zones, the green pumpkins and the white, you know, things that look like a bluegill, things that look like a shad, things that look like a crawfish, depending on the bait that I'm using. And right now, I would have thought, and you never know till you launch your boat, that there'd been a shad spawn going on, but the water temperature is really warm, so I'm not seeing shad, but I am seeing some fry. I'm not sure what kind of fry that is, but these fish are not aggressively taking the bait. I'm not feeling the bite. I'm seeing the bite more than anything. So they definitely like the swim jig. They definitely want to eat it, but I'm not convinced I'm throwing the right color. I'm just kind of getting a reaction bite right now. And you know, the tail may be too bright on this. I may need to make everything a little more subtle. Those are the things as a fisherman, if you can figure that out, that really pays a big dividend. That's better than that. Maybe a small. Another small one. Man. We are getting a lot of bites to not catch a keeper. Go back in there and grow up. Kind of confused, honestly. I would have thought there'd been a shad spawn and we could catch some better fish probably on a shad spawn. These fish, there's some fry in the water. It's probably shad fry, I would think. I'm not sure. And we're getting a lot of bites, but they're all about the same size. So we're just gonna keep covering water till we figure out, is it a location type deal, or is it a bait deal, or do we just need to do something totally different?
Coming up, Wade keeps asking those important "what do the fish want today" questions as he covers more water here on Wilson Lake.
Reliability. Yamaha is known for it. And it's something boaters value, because these days, few things are built to last. When we find something that is, we hold on to friendships, traditions, outboards, because every second on the water is sacred. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters choose Yamaha for the long run, for life, because reliability starts here.
When we could sell a good product to people and they get that same enjoyment that we do, I always tell them, it's like, it makes my heart happy.
At Secret Lures, our bass and passion is what inspired us to bring you the brand new Stupid Craw Kit. This kit is filled to the brim with all 5 Stupid Craw colors and 2 sizes of Stupid Tube jig heads. Whether you're a tournament angler looking for an advantage over the competition,
That right there is fun. Stupid Craw.
or you're passing the passion for bassin' to the next generation of anglers,
There's a lot of fun stuff about fishing, but I like catching big bass. I like just beating all the boys.
when you buy a Secret Lures Stupid Craw Kit, you're gonna turn the phrase "gone fishing" into "gone catching." Head on over to secretlures.com to purchase your Stupid Craw Kit and get hooked up with any of our tournament-grade tackle.
Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin.
This morning has really started off a lot of fun. I have quite a few bites on that Secret Lure swim jig with a Big Bites Kamikaze swim-on trailer, but I've caught, I don't know, half a dozen. I've had another half dozen bites, and most of them have been fairly small. Now that it's getting, the sun's getting up, it's getting a little brighter, I kind of feel like I need to be flipping something in here, maybe getting a little deeper, try to catch a bigger one. You know, the big ones may have already moved way out on the ledge. It's hard to say right now because I haven't gotten any of those bites. I find it impossible to believe that I can't get a few 3-pound bites flipping some of this type of cover just based on my history here. But every time you go fishing, it's different. Every trip, I mean, the conditions are different. It's been warmer this year than it has in years past, so it's highly possible that this deal is already passed and I'm fishing memories, which can be a mistake. But right now we are still getting a few bites, so we're gonna keep doing this till we don't get bites, and we'll go do something else.
Speaking of doing something else, when it was time to tie on a new trailer, Wade realized he ran out of the color he was using and decided to switch up his presentation.
Well, lack of preparedness, my swim-on trailers are not handy. So we are going to go with a Kamikaze Craw, which is a great flipping bait, but I've actually used it to swim before. One of the things that I felt, and I can't prove it, the water's really clear. And I had a very chartreuse set of legs on my Kamikaze swim-on. It was very bright. It was generating a lot of strikes, so we'll see if it doesn't, but this is a little more subtle. I kind of felt like a lot of the bites I was getting, those fish were just kind of getting it up and turning it down and kind of mouthing it, and I feel like they should have been a lot more aggressive. Look at that. 3 casts. I'm not gonna say we had a clue what we were saying or doing, but that bait bit pretty good and he thumped it pretty hard. So that's pretty fun. Not a big one, but a bite. I thought that was gonna be our 3-pounder since y'all were all down there taking a break. I caught all my camera guys taking a break down there. Thought I had us a good one, but they all scramble. Cody's got a cracker in his mouth. Gentry's taking a picture. That's still a fun bite. We're still getting bites on the swim bait, or I mean on the swim jig, so it's kind of hard to put it down. You know, when I look at swim jigs, there's so many different options out there. For me personally, that means I've been fishing with the Secret Lures MVP swim jig, and there's a lot of things I really like about that particular swim jig. The northern version is basically a 1/4 ounce swim jig with a 5/0 medium gauge mustad hook. The southern version is a 3/8 ounce with a 4/0 heavy gauge hook. In addition to that, they've got a 1/2 ounce one that features a 5/0 saltwater hook, and it's specifically built for braided line. They also are very well balanced, have a gliding action that's been really perfected for each of the weights, and the skirt can be, you know, customized to the application that you're going to be looking to use them, which really pays off for a lot of the people that are going to be, you know, looking at different types of bluegill colors specifically, because there's so many different colors of panfish across the nation that you're going to want to match your trailer and specifically the skirt of your swim jig too.
Coming up, we'll head back out on Wilson Lake with Wade for another fun day of swim jig fishing. From sun up to sundown, day in and day out, We work hard. We play hard. And to keep us going during those long hours, we demand performance. Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler.
Born in Japan, using technology, innovation, and precision, Sunline produces the widest selection of fishing lines at the most technologically advanced line factory in the world. Manufactured at the strictest tolerances to produce victories at the highest levels of tournament bass fishing. From household names like Christie, Swindle, and Cruz, to young guns like Cook, Logan, New, and Welcher, they all trust Sunline to take them to the top of the leaderboard. Choose the line that will give you the strength to guarantee your confidence. Sunline.
We don't have a large laboratory to test baits. Why, you ask? We don't need a big laboratory because our pros fish, our employees fish, our owners fish, and our kids fish. This is our laboratory. Our R&D comes from time on the water. All that time on the water brings us thousands of hours of testing new products and improving current ones for all species. Big Bite Baits, designed to bring the big bite to your line. Welcome back to Americana Outdoors, presented by Garmin. While fishing Wilson Lake yesterday, Wade discovered there was a decent swim jig bite in the area. This afternoon, Wade is back on the water to talk with us specifically about swim jig fishing.
There he is. Right out on that windy point, you know, really should, if you think about it, that's probably the best place for that. Oh gosh, lost him right there. Dadgummit. That's really where that fish should have been. I mean, he was right there on the point of that grass where that wind's kind of blowing in. Sets up great for an ambush point. That fish just absolutely smoked it, about 1.5 pounds fish. I had it on good hook set, good in there, and he got down in all that grass, and they can just tear that hook out when they do that. But you know, if you were lining up a place that makes sense to throw a swim jig, honestly, that's about as good an angle as you could expect. Got rocks, emergent vegetation, wind blowing on it, fish was there, but the angler failed to execute and finish that one off. We'll get to the next one. Got it. That one there was deeper into the hole. Same about similar size to what we caught yesterday, but still fun. Go back and grow up. You know, that one came out of that hole, and when we stopped here yesterday, I missed several fish coming through here, and I actually, well, we're bouncing around. I actually decided to come back over here because the other side of the lake, which is calmer, everybody's over there fishing. Every pocket's got 2 and 3 boats, and I thought, man, I'll go over here and kind of plink down this windy side and hopefully find some of these holes that aren't as windy and see if we can't catch some, because we weren't even hardly able to fish for all the boat traffic over there, and here we're dealing with all the wind. So, but I'll take it. We captured one.
Sometimes in fishing, the action can go from 0 to 100, and that's exactly what happened on Wilson Lake. While our main cameras may have been on a break eating crackers, that's why we always have an action camera or 2 constantly running, so we don't miss awesome moments like this one.
Little chunky thing, isn't he, right there? He's got some shoulders on him. Let him go. That's the kind of bite you like to see right there. It's hard to capture all this, but you can see I'm at the end of the grass right here. A little bit lighter weight one right here, 1/4 ounce. I mean, this water is only 2 to 3 feet deep that we're fishing. Out here on the edges, I probably could throw that half, but swimming through this, through the top, and I'm dropping it, letting it fall, twitching it, letting it drop, letting it fall. And you know, on the fall, a lot of these bites are coming in those holes as I run it into that grass, and that one there just smoked it. I mean, he'd already swam probably 4 or 5 feet before I was able to pick up and catch up with him, and got lucky that it didn't rip out of his mouth that time, because a lot of times when those fish get their head turned down and they get to go in that direction, you're in a bind. That was a classic drop the rod, swim jig bite.
That's a wrap on all things swim jigs. We hope you enjoyed hanging out with us on the water today. And if you want to get in on the swim jig action, head on over to secretlures.com and pick up some swim jigs for your next trip on the water. Hey, thank you for watching, and join us next week on a new episode of Americana Outdoors. Americana Outdoors is a Careco TV production. This episode was made possible by these partners.
Things you let me see.
TH Marine has been producing top-of-the-line marine accessories to rig boats from transom to trolling motor for decades. From jack plates to fish care to LEDs, TH Marine has you covered. TH Marine, outfitting your boat from transom to trolling motor.